welcome inside East Peoria Community High School. There's no time like playoff time. And here on this beautiful warm Wednesday in late February is where it really gets started for IHSA boys basketball. Good evening, everyone. Jonathan Michael here alongside Brock Stoller. And Brock, this should be a great game. We're going to have both of them coming your way. This one here on CIProud.com. We'll have East Peoria and Richwoods coming up after this on ClutchSportsIL.com. Overall, what do you expected from this? This is a really loaded sectional and so much talent here in the area in Class 3A.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it does a really good job of showcasing, as you just mentioned, some of that good local 3A talent here. Peoria High, Limestone first, and then obviously Richwoods and the host East Peoria coming up at 7:30. A lot of good matchups. There's really nothing quite like regional and playoff basketball in the state of Illinois, John.
No, there definitely isn't. And, there's so many teams in regionals, especially in this area, that maybe get eliminated a little bit earlier than they should because this area is so strong. And we have two good teams here. Peoria High having their best season since they won the state title in 2012. Limestone also having a very good season, one of the best they've seen in a long time, too. They come in at 15-15 after winning a regional quarterfinal game. As both these teams get ready for the national anthem as well, we'll step aside for a brief break and a word for our sponsors and come back in just a little bit with tip-off coming between the Limestone Rockets and the Peoria High Lions. You're watching one of our WMBD Games of the Week here, powered by Clutch Sports Media on CIProud.com. Right back after these messages.
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
We are Local Union 649. Our commitment to safety, our state-of-the-art training facility, and our pride in the work we do to build America is what makes us stand out from the rest. We are Local 649 of the International Union of Operating Engineers, and we are looking for the next generation of equipment operating apprentices. With Local 649, you'll find more than a career. You'll find a family, creating legacies since 1917.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. So bring all your friends, bring the whole family, because we could all use a bit more Braskies.
Thanks for sticking with us as we go through the pregame festivities, national anthem, starting lineups are coming up right up next here again. Jonathan Michael here alongside my good buddy Brock Stotler. Limestone and Peoria 3A regional semifinals. The winner of these games tonight will be back on Friday. And, Brock, regionals sometimes a little bit tougher than sectionals because sectionals sometimes you can get 2 days of rest. These teams, whoever wins this one is going to go home, have a very quick rest day, very probably light practice amount. They got to get right back to it, to a very big game on Friday. So it's just fast and furious at this point of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you feel it's like, you think it's fast and furious leading up to this point, and then you actually get into the playoffs, and it's even crazier. You just mentioned not a lot of rest for these teams. And in the case of Peoria High and Limestone, they've seen each other before as well. So there's kind of that familiarity factor that's going into it that you might not see in like a sectional matchup.
Most definitely. Just because these two teams aren't in the same conference doesn't mean that they're not familiar with each other. And back again, they played earlier this season, not even too long ago, back on February 11th, and Peoria High won that game 77-50. So again, they come into the number 1 seed in their subsectional, quite the honor, especially, when it's subsectional that also, featured Morton and Metamora. Peoria High, number 1 seed over them. A lot of people looking at them for a potential deep state run. But Limestone, again, not a team to overlook. As we'll bring you tonight's starters here. Tipping it off in the circle for Limestone will be Jalen Cahill. He'll be matched up with Phoenix Foy, both the big men for both squads. Peoria High will also roll out LaShawn Stowers, their Miami, Ohio commit Spencer Russell, TJ Sturdivant, and Stephen Williams as their starting 5. Limestone, alongside Cahill, they got Logan Sprout, a senior out there, alongside Bryce Chapman, Preston Quinney, and Logan Sprout. May have mentioned him earlier, couldn't remember. But either way, Limestone turns it over there on the first possession and layup the other way, and it's a quick bucket in transition, Brock. That's really what Peoria High likes to do.
Force turnovers, get out on the fast break in transition. Great start there for Spencer Russell. Tough finish on the other end, but he got that ball, John, and just took off. Was like a bolt there to the rim.
So Russell, the very athletic senior, has just done so much for Peoria High during his high school career, both on the basketball court and the gridiron. Gets the scoring started here in this first quarter as Phoenix Foy has it outside the perimeter and hands off to Sturdivant. Player that many believe is overlooked, and rightfully so. I'd say TJ Sturdivant could be an X factor for them. So Russell on the drive again, and Foy is there with the cleanup miss. If you're Limestone, got a box out there.
Boy, and Russell got right to the rim again. Can't finish it, but you got your buddies there to help you out. Good finish there by Foy, cleaning the glass.
It's a 4-0 Lion lead. What does Limestone do on their second possession? Peoria High playing their patented man defense that they and a lot of other schools in Peoria play. It's Sturdivant guarding Quinney up top. Matchup of both number 4s. They feed the post, and a good layup and a quick release there from the senior forward, Alec Williams.
Yeah, nice basket there. Good action there by Limestone all around. Quinney was getting harassed out on the perimeter, able to find the big man for a nice bucket there for Limestone.
So it's Russell, and we're going to get a foul away from the ball. I think Cahill was trying to play some tight defense on Stowers and ended up getting the hold. So that'll be number 1 on Cahill, a junior forward for Limestone. But the first time we've seen Limestone on the CSM airwaves in some time. Good to see them again after it's been a strong season. A drive in, and it's a turnover. TJ Sturdivant traveled there. And Limestone, it gets it back with 6:09 to go here in the first quarter. Lions bringing that press. That might be a big factor in this one. You know, Brock, I think the biggest key for Limestone is they got to limit the turnovers, because once the ball gets in the hands of the Lions, they're going to go right down the other way in a flash.
And I was always told when I was coming up playing basketball, if a team has a good press, there's really no way to replicate that in practice. So, I mean, I'm sure Limestone doing the best that they can, but Peoria High's really good at it for a reason. They've mastered it. It's really hard to just bring that into a practice setting and replicate it with some of the athletes that Peoria High has.
Most definitely. Meanwhile, Jalen Cahill finishes through contact. Phoenix Foy got him on the way up, and he's got a chance to give the Rockets the lead. And he does. 5-4 their advantage here in the early going. Again, Limestone head coached by Willie Coleman. And Willie Coleman, as many know, former Manual head coach. So he certainly knows this Peoria High team, and his counterpart Daniel Ruffin on the other sideline. Shot from the free throw line, no good, and we get another Lions foul. That's 2 quick ones, and that one goes on Russell.
Good open jumper there, though, out of that action on the feed from Stowers by Foy. Can't get it to go, but, I mean, you like Russell flying in there for that offensive rebound.
And we get a foul on the inbound. It goes on Limestone on Bryce Chapman. So before Limestone can even get the ball back, they foul and give it right back. So a lot of whistles here in the early going, Brock. 2 fouls for both squads. That might be an early indicator of how these teams are going to have to play tonight. There might be a little more stoppages than they may want. As Russell drove in, got blocked by Cahoe, was slow getting up, but he's juts back down the floor now.
John, I was pretty surprised that Russell was able to even get a shot off there. Impressive move, unable to finish it though.
I'll tell you who wasn't able to get a shot off, that was Logan Sprout, and the reason why was Phoenix Foy getting in there and blocking that mid-range shot. So it goes back to the Lions here. Again, 25-6 on the year. It's their best season since they won the state title in 2012. And you know, Brock, you look at this regional versus, the Dunlap regional also going on tonight. Our CSM crew also providing you live coverage of Metamora and Dunlap up at 7:30 as Foy gets fed in the post and converts. That regional has got Morton, Metamora, a very good Dunlap team. As KO goes up, no good. But, Peoria High, they got some tough teams in this one. East Peoria, Richwood's both very good, but they got certainly a little bit easier of a path, I think, than maybe both Morton and Metamora do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about these teams being battle-tested coming into the playoffs. They don't even mention getting battle-tested by the time you get to a sectional, the state semifinals. I mean, you just play tremendous teams, even in your own regional.
Exactly, as the three ball was good from Stephen Williams. Pretty looking shot that. And I'll put Lions up by 4. We get our first substitution. It's a junior Cameron Gunn coming in for Peoria High. A couple more will join him after this free throw here from Logan Sprout, a 6'2" senior. That one up and good. I'm just got a handful of seniors on this team. Chapman, Alec Williams, Sprout, and Kamar Sanders. So they are a little bit more experienced than they have been in past years. They've been very, very young. A team that's really learned a lot over the last 2-3 years, as these players that you see on the floor now have, had their growing pains, but now they're seniors and now they get to, show what they can do and help Limestone in one of its best seasons in some time.
Yeah, Lions fans getting a little glimpse at the future here as Nigel Moore, the 5'10" freshman, checked in down there in the corner as well. So nice little exciting sight to see the guy could be running the point guard for the next 3 years for the Lions. Good move there, right on cue from Moore.
Oh, and he buried it. What a shot from Nigel Moore. And you said it, Brock, the one word that's so key in that, freshman.
That was a senior move right there, though, John. My goodness.
And what a rebound there from Quinney. He kicks it out. 3 ball from Graham is off the mark, and Russell ends up with it. Again, this team, it's hard to almost say this, but there's a real reason this team could even be better next year, even though LaShawn Stowers graduates, because they got so many good freshmen. Nigel Moore, Orlando Edwards. Great ball movement here. Here's the other. It's Moore knocking it down. He's got 5 quick ones. It's 14-7 Peoria High.
Spark off the bench from the freshman in the headband. Nice shot there from the left wing. Buries the triple. Peoria High instant production off that bench.
I don't know if Nigel Moore typically wears a headband, but I think if he doesn't, I think he's got to consider wearing it more often given his performance early so far.
Absolutely going to see that as a staple in that man's accessory wardrobe the rest of the playoffs.
Keep the headband on, young man, as KO drives in. Offensive board from Graham. He somehow got a shot up. Was outnumbered down there near the paint. Still goes up for 2. That foul is going to go on Phoenix Foy. That's number 2 for him here with 2:45 to go. So that's a big one for Daniel Ruffin and company, because Foy is, aside from Stowers, really the only true big man that gets many minutes. As we're going to look at Orlando Edwards, the other freshman for Peoria, number 32 coming in, as well as another freshman, Jacob Duffin Jr. So 3 freshmen on the floor right now for the Lions after Russell checks out.
What a luxury that you can have that, John, just confidently subbing in 3 freshmen in a regional game like this. I mean, Peoria High pretty deep, and they're showing it already.
Most definitely. Foy back on the bench. Cameron Gunn and Stowers, the other 2 players in the game right now for the Lions. And a quick start to this one. No Russ by either teams here so far. And a travel there. Edwards tried to rock to the right, come out to the left. He must have just barely picked up that foot. Didn't see much, but it was enough to draw the whistle.
And both turnovers Peoria High has unforced on travels. So, I mean, their offense has really been getting whatever they want. They've been getting some good looks. Just beating themselves twice here in the first quarter.
That's one thing I know that Daniel Ruffin has worked with this team on is, just not beating yourself, not creating mistakes. What a look there from Cahoe. Defender draped all over him off the glass.
Yeah, not an ounce of space there from Cahoe, as he's got some work cut out for him on the defensive end now, as you see Stowers just take him one-on-one right off the dribble.
This is definitely probably one of the biggest games of Cahoe's career so far, and the fact that he's got to go up against Stowers. Again, he already did it this season, so it's not anything new for him. Foul on Limestone, goes on Graham, his first, team's third. Stowers still hasn't scored yet for Peoria High, and we were talking right before this one, Brock. Everyone hears Peoria High and thinks LaShawn Stowers, but this team is really much more than him, as you see Orlando Edwards nearly got it to go all the way around and out off the hands of Sanders. Back to the Lions.
And that was a pretty nice little move there from Edwards to shake free. Can't get it to fall, but boy, these freshmen have came in, have taken some shots with confidence. It's worked out in Peoria High's favor.
So they lead by 3. In case you're just tuning in, Peoria High has led pretty much all of this one. Edwards straightaway 3 off the attachment. Rebound tipped around, and now Limestone tries to get out and run. 2-on-2, Sanders finds Graham up and in. Graham caught that midair and put it in, and all of a sudden it's a 1-point game and a 6-0 run for Limestone.
Yeah, that was a tough pass and an even tougher finish there, as Sanders barely corralled it, just kind of flicked it up there to Graham. He's able to finish.
One-handed floater there from Moore. He can't get that one to go, and Limestone with some momentum takes it the other way. They brought a nice student section here to this game, Brock. They're making some noise. Bench has been making some noise. I'd say this gym skews a little bit more, at least colors-wise, a little more blue shirts than maroon, but there's also some good Lions fans down right below us.
And every Limestone basket, this place is waiting to explode, and they've given them a little bit of reason to here so far.
KO is trying to get it stripped away, was Duffin. It'll be a jump ball and give possession back to Peoria High, 38.3 to go. Brock, I was calling 2 games last night, girls sectional semifinals up in Ottawa, Washington and Galesburg, Morton and Ottawa. And in these situations, about 30 seconds to go, team gets the ball, and I said, well, this will probably be the last possession of the first quarter. And none of those times wasn't the case. These teams, they don't really like to hold for the last shot. I think it's kind of fallen out of popularity a little bit. They just want to get out and score and, maybe see if they can get a stop, maybe even get 2 scores before the half.
Yeah, the old 2-for-1, they call it in college and stuff when they have the shot clock. But these high school teams, they just kind of want to get out, score, put up a crooked number on the scoreboard.
I meant to say the end of the quarter. Still got 8 more minutes to go before the halftime break. We'll break down the first half, and lots of other games going on tonight. Take you all through them is Duffin made number 1 and second one. Almost got a weird roll in. Comes up short. Our John Camosa is at the Dunlap Regional as well, covering the Morton and Galesburg game right now. Morton leading big early in that one. We'll keep you posted on that one as we go along. Rockets go cross court, way downtown. Graham off the mark. Offensive board into the hands of Williams, and good. Time expires in the first quarter, and that's how it ends. Limestone 15, Peoria High 15. Take away the numbers next to their names on the bracket. Seeds don't mean anything. This is the playoffs, baby. All tied up in a fun one after one. We'll step aside here on CIProud.com and come back after these messages.
Sweep-A-Lot takes care of your pavement sweeping needs for your parking lot or landscape. Sweep-A-Lot is backed by Purdue Pavement Solutions, trusted for paving, sweeping, and parking lot maintenance.
The Bob Grimm way starts with us.
The Bob Grimm experience, what I like is that, you put customers first, make sure we meet every expectation and make a long-lasting relationship with them so that, they know that we're here for them and for their friends and family.
Don't try to put someone in a car that is not going to work for them. If you don't have what they want, try to get it, the proper vehicle. Again, just treat people the way you'd want to be treated and a fair deal.
That's the Bob Grimm way.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's what we do.
Welcome back. Second quarter already underway here at East Peoria High School. Glad you're with us here on CIProud.com. Jonathan Michael here alongside Brock Stotler. Brock, boy, what a end to that first quarter for Limestone. They were down 14-7 and really impressed, but that's talking about really impressed. Nigel Moore's got 7 off the bench for Peoria High.
He's had 2 incredible little moves there. That one and then a couple in the first quarter as well.
In transition, hangs in the air, no good. Ball bounced out. Now Limestone's got numbers, but they lost it. Russell diving play, and the Lions got it. They'll feed their big guy, Stowers. He converts for his first bucket. Timeout quickly called by Willie Coleman. He did not like something that he saw in that first 42 seconds.
Nigel Moore, a spark plug so far for Peoria High. 5 in the first quarter. Quick athletic finish here to start the second. Good feed there to Stowers after he was unable to get it to go on his own look. Nigel Moore really impressing me so far tonight, John.
He's got 7, and we want to take a quick word to thank our sponsors for tonight. Brought to you by Holy Family School in Peoria, where we learn, serve, and grow. Our faith-based environment enables all students to reflect the light of Christ through humility, love, and sacrifice. Offer all sorts of things such as art, dance, choir, music, band, foreign language, one-on-one technologies, speech, scholastic bowl, and athletic teams in volleyball, soccer, basketball, and track and field. PeoriaHolyFamily.com to learn more. And a travel there in the backcourt. Limestone losing a bit of momentum here early in this first quarter. And, Brock, this Peoria High team just plays so fast that they can take a tie game and make it a 10-point game in the blink of an eye. So Limestone's got to be wary about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've seen it already. I mean, they've just been a couple plays where Peoria High just gets a tip or a loose ball. They're diving all over the floor. Then they're right at the basket. So they can score in a hurry.
Missed opportunity there. Russell was left with no one in the same zip code as him. Cahill gets blocked by Stowers.
Good defense there by Stowers, not only on the block, but he took away the lob threat or the pass across the lane to the wide open teammate. So usually on those fast breaks, one guy can't guard 2 people unless your name is LaShawn Stowers, John.
He's again headed to Miami of Ohio next season in the MAC. Here's Alec Williams trying to drive in there on Russell. Now here's Sprout, little shot there in the mid-range. Batted out by Russell, back into the hands of a Rocket. Sprout working on Duffin. Waiting. Now Cahill and Stowers. It's been an entertaining one-on-one matchup between those two tonight. Man falls down as Duffin. Sprout faked him out of his shoes. Deep 2, too strong, and Stowers with the miss. And a push foul there on Chapman. That was pretty obvious and pretty unnecessary, if I would have to say myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, back to Limestone real quick, John. I mean, if you're head coach Willie Coleman, I mean, they've kind of been doing a really good job rebounding some of their misses on that side against Peoria High, or against Peoria High, excuse me, and just have done a good job getting themselves some extra possessions. I mean, that's what it's going to take in a ball game like this. Steal a couple extra possessions, and you never know.
And talking about extra possessions, they get another one as Peoria can't convert the inbound. Moore bounced it to Sturdivant, just went right off of his knee. So it'll be Limestone ball, but again, I really do agree. Second chance points is going to be a big factor in this one, and I like Limestone's aggressiveness on the boards. And neither team really has a distinct size advantage over the other, but just been a lot of guys very active once that shot goes up. So Graham gets in here too, the junior Cahill. Morton leading Galesburg, by the way, 16-5 after the first quarter. Here's a steal by Stowers, driving in and stripped away. Good foul there by Quinney. A, he didn't let Stowers get the shot off. And B, he didn't foul him from behind and try and undercut it, which could have been a dangerous play right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, just a foul in transition that if you're Limestone, you got to have. Can't let Peoria High get easy buckets like that. And Stowers just playing cornerback there at midcourt. Uses those long arms, gets a tip, and then he's gone.
That's one of the jobs Stowers has done over, his years at Peoria High. I remember a couple years ago talking with their head coach Daniel Ruffin before the season as he misses the second. I said, who are maybe some players that we haven't heard about yet that are, going to be really big players, really key guys for you? And he said, well, we got a freshman and a sophomore. I can't remember what year it was. We got a guy named LaShawn Stowers, and told me all about him. I saw him play, and he was very good back then, and he's really grown, physically and both with his game each of the last couple years. A lot of good young talent over there.
Yeah, certainly what better guy to take that from than the head man himself. Guy that's with him in practice every day, and he's certainly paid off that hard work with a Division I scholarship. So it'd be awesome to see a young man like that grow and continue to get better at the game of basketball.
Now he's going to get the scholarship, might get some NIL money too as well. That's definitely a great added element for all the college athletes nowadays. Great look there from Alec Williams, better in the last possession, but Nigel Moore comes back and counters and gets a three, and it's back up to a 6-point advantage.
Second triple of the game for Nigel Moore. That lefty just keeps stroking him in the hoop there. Beautiful play by Moore.
He's got 10 of Peoria High's 23 so far. He just doesn't really seem phased out there on the court. We saw him take it in with some authority. He seemed pretty comfortable, and he's also showed no hesitation in shooting the ball as well. So the playoff moment definitely not too big for him.
Absolutely not. He was born for this, John. A lot of times you see those freshmen, they don't really get in the game. They don't really know what to do. Got to shake the nerves off. Not for Mr. Moore.
Oh, Russell, he's a receiver on the football team. Played quarterback there. His shot was blocked. Now Moore elevates, fouled on the elbow jumper. What a block, though, from Limestone. I didn't see exactly who that was. Did you catch who it was, Brock? Either way, phenomenal job there after that great pass from Russell.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think everybody in here kind of wanted that to be a goaltend, but the referee said no, that was clean, athletic play by the Rockets. And then there's Moore again. Nice little head fake, gets to his left, and he's right back to the foul line.
So foul going on Jalen Cahoe. That's number 2 for him. Bryce Chapman's also got 2 for the Rockets. Sanders in for Cahoe for the blue and white.
Number 1, Sanders checking in for Limestone. Number 15, Foy, returning.
And Moore will set and try and get his 11th point of the evening. Nothing but net there. And it's 24-17. Now Peoria bringing some pressure. I'm really impressed with Limestone's degree of difficulty on their shots, Brock. They've got some good ones down near the bucket that have been tough looks. They've had to really create the open space, but guys like Williams and KO and Graham have all gotten it done.
Yeah, some tough shot makers on this Limestone roster. It's going to take some more of those. This Peoria High defense is just suffocating right now.
Turnaround, that was a tough look there from Sprout and a good contest. Now Stowers chugging up the floor, kicks out Moore. He traveled, was a good move, tried to get it down to Duffin, but just kind of ran out of steps there.
He just went through a keyhole right there to split that double and find that guy under the basket, but tough travel there, but still an impressive find there by Moore.
Good vision as Williams drives in with the floaters from straight away. Rims out. Now Stowers, he created some space, facing a double team, kicking it out. Edwards over to Moore. That's the problem when you have guys like Stowers. It allows his teammates to flourish because he draws so many double teams all season long.
Just such a willing passer to him, and he feels the double team and then just immediately knows, I've got a guy open, I got to find him.
And right now the open guy, Orlando Edwards, bangs it from the corner. 10-point lead, Peoria High, and now he's starting to feel it. Clapping his hands on defense, and Willie Coleman says not so fast. We're going to take time out.
Well, I'm telling you, John, if these freshmen for Peoria High continue to play like that, when you have a guy like Stowers to lead the way, this Peoria High team is going to be very, very tough to beat here in this playoffs.
And I want to take a quick word to remind you tonight's broadcast is also brought to you by Red Brand Credit Union. Since 1952, Red Brand Credit Union has been supporting the hardworking families of Central Illinois with great banking services. Red Brand Credit Union, member care is exceptional. Visit us at redbrandcu.com, or you can come see us in Bartonville and Pekin to see how we can help. Big week of hoops here on CIProud.com, on ClutchSportsIL.com. Again, all of our Clutch Sports Media crew here. I'm Jonathan Michael, Brock Stotler to my left, our producer Mark Wagner to my right, Ben Tapp behind our camera today. I want to give a big shout out to all the guys on our crew because this is one of the busiest weeks of the year. You know, we were in Ottawa yesterday, here in East Peoria tonight. We got a crew over in Dunlap for Metamora Dunlap at 7:30. We'll be back in Ottawa for the girls' sectional title between Washington and Morton tomorrow. I can't wait for that. And then we'll be back here at East Peoria for the regional title on Friday.
I mean, nothing quite like the playoffs and just, you know, the busyness bouncing around, seeing so many great games. I'm sure that just makes it nothing but worth it, John.
Most definitely. You know, during the day is pretty stressful trying to get ready for each game. And, you know, once you finish one, you're already looking forward to the other and doing all the planning that comes with that. But once you see the basketball, see some great games, it's all worth it. And this one's been entertaining so far. Limestone was down 14-7 and clawed back and tied it up. See if they can make another little comeback here before the half. But it goes off the leg of Williams, dribbled it off himself. Moore finding Stowers, galloping into the lane and finishing.
There's LaShawn Stowers. We've kind of seen him get going here in the second quarter. Bad news for Limestone is that's just far too easy. Athletic move for Stowers right to the dish.
Limestone barely gets it across the timeline before it was 10 seconds. And right now, this Peoria defense is just giving them a lot of trouble. They look a little bit more out of sorts than they did earlier on. I think the Rockets really got to get out in transition. This half-court offense has been a tough for them to face so far tonight.
I mean, it's tough to even really remember Limestone's last shot attempt. It just feels like Peoria High right now, of course it is, but Peoria High just forcing so many turnovers, not giving them any clean looks.
Now Limestone has been getting some looks off offensive boards and got one there. Could not convert. Limestone's been shooting a lot of floaters tonight. They've been having to resort to that. Not the worst shot in the world. As Stowers heating up, his floater no good. Tips it out, hits the deck. Now here comes Limestone, wide open layup. Preston Quinney lays it in, his first bucket of the night.
Well, and that's how Limestone tied it up at the end of the first quarter. They got out and ran a couple times, got an offensive rebound. A couple big stops here, maybe crawl their way back in, going into halftime with a little bit more confidence.
So under a minute to play. Now we see Peoria slowing it down a bit with Nigel Moore running point. Him and Stowers have been the main ball handlers. Moore driving in. How'd he get that shot off? Either way, it was no good. Rockets other direction. Sprout tees one up. Almost got the roll, and Williams the offensive board. And we get a whistle before Sprout's other three. And you can see Peoria head coach Daniel Ruffin not too pleased his team gave up another offensive board there. Really got to credit Limestone, though, for just being active on the glass. I think that was Sanders was sky high in the air. When that one hit the rim, it seemed like.
Some of the verticals on these guys is very impressive. You got to box out. I mean, they're flying at the rim, just going straight up, trying to get a hand on that, tip it out to a shooter, get an extra possession for their team.
Sanders also a very impressive horizontal jumper too. He was a state finalist in the long jump last spring. Here's Graham for a three. That one came up well short. And it'll go off the hands of Gunn. Tough ball to Correll, so it'll remain Limestone ball. 9.5 to go. They set up their blob play. Get it in. Cahill double teamed. Sprout was left open for a second. And the ball goes out again. Very active hands from Peoria High. So it's going to be a catch, maybe one or two dribbles and shoot, I think.
Sprout was open there for a second. Peoria High shut it down real quick. No options. Just good active hands there to strip it out of bounds.
Inbound at Cahill. Quick three. That one no good. I think Cahill might have panicked a little bit there. He had plenty more time to try and get a shot. Tough look with the defender in your face, but Limestone has kept it in the game. It's 29-19 at the half. Brock, your first half thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, really good first quarter. I mean, first half overall for Limestone, kept it tied. That first quarter, done a good job on the glass. I mean, that Peoria High defense, it's just tough. And I mean, if you'd have told me that LaShawn Stowers wasn't the leading scorer and it'd be these freshmen off the bench for Peoria High, I mean, it just makes it so much tougher when you kind of take away their best player for a quarter and a half, you're still down 10 because you can bring guys off the bench like that that just have confidence that can make shots.
Most definitely. And Peoria High has been very dangerous when they've had Moore and Stowers on the floor together. Moore kind of, started to heat up midway through the first. I think Stowers might have been on the bench briefly in that one. I could be wrong, though. But Moore's got 11. Stowers has gotten 5. Phoenix Foy with 4 for the Lions. And Limestone being led by Alec Williams at 6 here at the halftime break. So it's been a good first half of action. We'll step aside briefly, but don't go anywhere. Myself and Brock Stotler will, again, talk more about the first half, and we'll also talk about the other games going on in the area and find out what we think about that. It's been a good night of hoops, and it's just getting started. You're watching the WMBD Game of the Week on CIProud.com.
Trade up to a better future. Trade up to a job you enjoy. Trade up to trade school. At Midwest Technical Institute, you get the skills you need to start a career that moves you up in life towards your goals, your passions, and your dreams. Choose from programs including welding, HVAC, medical and dental assisting, medical coding, and more. Earn the experience, knowledge, and confidence to change your life. Trade school is just the beginning. Start your journey today at midwesttech.edu.
Take the hassle out of pavement restoration with Purdue Pavement Solutions. Whether seal coating, crack sealing, or parking lot repair. And now featuring pavement sweeping. For professional quality pavement craftsmanship, trust Purdue Pavement Solutions.
The heart of Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoiunitedway.org.
A lost smile is never truly lost.
Many of the patients come in and they're usually trying to cover up the way their teeth look. And when you take them from that, they just come in with a whole different person.
Dentures par excellence, restoring lost smiles.
Meadows Avenue Tap. Slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Lunch service starting at 11. Meadows Avenue Tap. Discreet gaming, great food, great friends. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Sam Lehman of Morton, the #1 Ram truck dealer in Illinois and the largest Ram dealer in the Midwest. It's our annual President's Day sales event. This month, take 20% off all remaining 2024 Jeep Wranglers, or save over $16,000 on a 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn when financing through Stellantis. Plus, enjoy a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $35,000. Don't miss the President's Day sales event at Sam Lehman of Morton, where we do the deals no one else will.
Hi, I'm Jim Arnold with Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. Improve the curb appeal of your biggest investment, your home, with a new Wayne Dalton garage door. Or for repairs on your existing door, call us for service even on Saturdays. Wayne Dalton Sales and Service. It's in the name because it's what we do.
That mountain of boxes won't pack itself, but Peoria Production Solutions will. Let us handle your packaging and assembly. Our highly trained team uses computerized inventory control and specialized equipment to ensure your customers receive their items on time. Let us help you grow and scale your business. Give us a call or visit PeoriaPros.com for a quote today.
And welcome back inside East Peoria Community High School. Halftime of a Class 3A regional semifinal between Limestone and East Peoria. And I want to take a quick word also to remind you, you can subscribe now to Clutch Sports Media Overtime, where we've had so much playoff coverage already and plenty more to come. You can follow the school and the stories that you care about. You can subscribe today using the QR code there on your screen or on our website at clutchsportsil.com/overtime. Always a fun time. We got lots of stories coming out about all these playoff games. Our John Camosa, again, going to have the written coverage from the Dunlap sectional here tonight, or Dunlap regional tonight. Yesterday was girls sectionals. We're in boys regionals, and Brock, I'm going to leave an open-ended question here for you. You know, overall, I know it's been a while since I've seen you, but have you been keeping in tune at all with local high schools? Have you noticed anything just in a general sense at all in boys basketball this year?
I mean, not keeping up as much as I would have liked to. I mean, I know that, like, obviously host East Peoria having a really good season. I was interested to see how Richwoods responded and rebuilt this year after the loss of such a great player like Lathan Somerville. Seems to have done them just fine to kind of get back into the regionals, be a top 5 seed there. So, I mean, yeah, just not keeping up as much as I would have liked to, but I mean, just such an exciting time with so many talented teams. And I mean, it's not all about, like some of your star players. It's the X factors, the spark plugs that you can bring in, the compliments of those star players that really get it done.
Most definitely. We're going to see another great one after this. East Peoria and Richwoods. Again, really fun. We're going to see 2 Mid-Illini, two Big 12 teams face off against each other. And again, it's not foreign to see those teams play each other during the regular season, some non-conference games, but it is really fun because those are two different conferences, and a lot of people say, is the Mid-Illini or the Big 12 better? And we're really going to find it out here tonight because this is where it really matters, is here in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can throw the regular season records out, what they were in conference, what place they finish. I mean, it all matters who wins this one here tonight. And I mean, no better way to prove which conference is better than putting two of the teams up head-to-head for a shot at a regional title on the line.
Most definitely. And as we march on through halftime again, in case you missed part of the first half, Peoria High got out on a little bit of an early run. They led 14-7. Then Limestone tied the game back up on an 8-1 run. It went tied 15-15 after the first. But that Peoria High defense holding the Rockets to just 4 points here in that second quarter. So, overall, I mean, what'd you like from Limestone in the first half, Brock? And also, what do you think they can maybe try and do? Maybe open up some things. I know it's a lot easier said than done, and there really is. Sometimes it maybe not is the easiest solution.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I think they've just got to continue to fly after the offensive glass, try and steal some extra possessions. They did a really good job there. Force the turnovers when you can, and then get out and run. I mean, Peoria High hasn't really had a ton of live ball turnovers tonight. But when they have, it's felt like Limestone has been able to get out and run, get some points, some quick, easy points in that. And I mean, just when you have a shot open, don't think about it, just kind of let it fly. Because I mean, these Peoria High defenders are just reading, reacting, getting right back out to any pass based on out of bounds plays. I mean, we saw a guy in the corner was open for just a second. You just got to let that fly. You can't think about it.
Most definitely. Should be a good second half of action. And again, it's win or go home time. So Limestone has got to dig deep and find a way in that second half. Otherwise, their season will come to an end. We'll step aside one more time here at halftime and come back with the second half from East Peoria. You're watching Clutch Sports Media's WMBD Game of the Week.
Need an injury lawyer? Get a fighter. Get a street lawyer like Todd Strong. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He'll fight for your rights. Get Todd Strong. He fights like a street lawyer.
My name is Todd Strong, and I've been representing injury victims for over 25 years. I have a team of lawyers that also assist me in the handling of our cases that have aggressive passion to represent injury victims and get the best outcome possible.
Welcome to Braskies. This is your home away from home. First down to last call, we're serving up the good times. Food, drinks, music, and games all under one roof. At Braskies, you'll find what you're looking for.
Peoria Academy is offering exciting camp experiences this summer for children ages 5 to 14. Our general camp includes weekly swimming and field trips. 2-week specialized camps focus on athletics, fine arts, and STEAM, featuring basketball, golf, lacrosse, volleyball, culinary arts, and theater, and so much more. Come explore with us at the camps of Peoria Academy. Register at peoriaacademy.org.
At Ham's Furniture, we have your comfortable, affordable recliners, mattresses, and more. And we offer free local delivery.
Hi, I'm Russ at Ham's Furniture, inviting you to stop in and see what's new today.
Ham's Furniture at 347 Court Street in downtown Pekin.
And welcome back inside East Peoria Community High School. Peoria leads Limestone 29-19 in the first game of our doubleheader tonight. I'll remind you later on, but wanted to just make sure everyone knows for our second game, that will be on ClutchSportsIL.com. It's also on our YouTube channel as well, so we'll pivot destinations for our next one. But again, we'll have Again, more free live coverage coming your way. Lions 5 to start the second half is going to be Stephen Williams alongside TJ Sturdivant, Russell, Foy, and Stowers. And for Limestone, it'll be Quinney, Chapman, Williams, Cahoe, and Sprout. It's been mostly those 5 plus Graham for Limestone tonight. And Foy back on the floor now for Peoria High after getting those 2 early fouls. 3 ball on the way and good. Burying it is Stephen Williams.
Yeah, great start there for Peoria High. Quick offense leads to a wide open jump shot, and Williams gets his man the assist. Nice looking shot there by Williams.
And on the other end, Limestone comes back.
Nice little move there down low by Cahoe, as he's given Limestone some good minutes and some good points and production so far tonight.
And that bucket's coming quick on both sides. Phoenix Foy laying it in. He's got 6. He also is a difference maker for Peoria High when he's on the floor. You know, he doesn't always do things that show up in the stat sheet. Maybe doesn't always score a ton, but definitely a guy that can really get it going, especially with the rebounds and everything like that.
I mean, in the history of basketball, John, I feel like I'd like to bet that pretty much every good team has had a guy like Phoenix Foy. You can't always rely on him to score 10, 15 points, but he doesn't need to. He gets you 6 or 7 rebounds, a couple blocks, makes some good game-winning plays for you, and that can be the difference.
A stoppage here. Foul going on Limestone. That will be on Sprout. That's just his first, so he's not in any sort of foul trouble. And it'll send Foy to the line here, 6:32 to go in the third quarter.
Foy is unable to get that first free throw to go. He hasn't been to the line too much tonight. Had a little bit of success, though, when Limestone does put him at the charity stripe. And there is Graham again in for Limestone. Been the primary reserve off the bench so far for the Rockets as Foy goes 0 for 2 at the line.
But the offensive board goes to Sturdivant. They'll get a second crack at it here. Stowers driving in, his shot blocked by Cahoe. They're going to call it for a foul. From our angle, we couldn't see if there's maybe some skin-on-skin contact, but at least from up here, it looked like he got mostly ball on that one. A good play from Cahoe.
Yeah, good strong contest there from Cahoe. Just unfortunately got called for the foul there. But if you're Limestone, two missed free throws, good as a stop for the Rockets defense, and then you just get beat for an offensive rebound like that. Very tough for the Rockets.
Free throw for Stowers up and good. It's a 15-point advantage. Here we had another foul. Whistles did slow down a bit in that second quarter, Brock, after we saw a lot of them in that first quarter and thought, boy, we might be seeing lots of guys in foul trouble, but so far I don't believe anyone's got 3. That one goes on Stephen Williams.
And if it does kind of get into that where you got to use some bodies, you'd have to think advantage Peoria High. I mean, they've already gone 8, 9 deep already. Have no problem digging into that bench a little bit deeper with some confidence deploying those guys out on the floor.
Brief score update again from Dunlap. Other 3A action. Morton all over Galesburg right now. It's 38-9. Potter's in front with 5:51 to go in the third quarter. This one a little bit more competitive. What a block from behind by Williams, but Foy just puts it right back up and in, no difference.
I thought that was going to go in off that block for a second there, John, but Foy just double right there, Johnny on the spot, picks it up, goes right back up with it. And a great start here to the second half for Peoria High, as they've just kind of blitzed Limestone just like we saw in that second quarter.
Here's Kamar Sanders. His 3-ball no good. Williams gets the offensive board, though. Ball tipped around and back to Williams.
And Limestone still hitting the glass hard. Have gotten a couple open jumpers these last 2 possessions. Just have not been able to find the bottom of the net.
And there's a foul there on Foy. He got a little aggressive trying to take that one out of the hands of Grams. That'll be number 3 on Foy. Here with 5:19 to go in the third quarter. So that'll put Williams to the line. Williams he's just a tough, hard-bodied kid. He's been really aggressive tonight, especially down near the post as Gunn comes back in for Foy. I'm really curious, Brock, looking forward for this Limestone team, even if they fall short against Peoria High tonight, which there's still plenty more ball game left to play, are they able to maybe take another jump next season? They do lose some key seniors in Sprout and Chapman, Williams, and Sanders, but they do bring back a couple of key guys like KO and Quinney. And, at least for the last couple of years as we've been around, Limestone hasn't really, been a huge factor near the top of the conference. They've always been there and played tough, but, maybe if they can take another step forward, they'd be knocking on the door of the top of the conference as Stowers lays it up and in.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the quick things I noticed when I first looked at Limestone's roster. Only losing 4 seniors. Now, that those seniors are obviously big parts of the team's success this year, but if you can have those guys take the junior to senior year jump, the sophomore to junior year jump, and they got a freshman on the roster, Lucas Subbert, if he's able to give you some valuable minutes next year and contribute as a sophomore, that's good youth that Limestone's just bringing back and reloading the team with.
Russell got fouled hard there on the shot, so they'll be rewarded with 2. He could extend this to as much as 20. Here, 4:50 to go in the third. Russell's first, you betcha. Nigel Moore back in the game for Peoria High, and I wouldn't close out your tabs or anything, folks, especially when Nigel Moore is on the floor. He has been so fun to watch tonight. Off of the foot of Sturdivant, goes back to Limestone.
Just some of the moves and shots that he's taken as a freshman have just been really impressive, John. There's just not a lack of confidence in this guy. He thinks he can make everything. He thinks he can get through any tight window, get to the rim. And, so far, he's been right, honestly.
Definitely has. As Limestone going the other way here, needing a little bit of a spark to try and make this one close before the fourth quarter. As Moore is thrown right into the hands of a Rocket. That was Caleb Powell, junior, into the game for the first time. And he'll might be a starter next season. Ball is on the deck. We're going to get a tie-up, and it favors Limestone.
Look at the hands there by Peoria High. 2 separate times, just poking the ball away from behind. Diving on the floor. It's a group effort. Anytime that basketball is loose on the deck for Peoria High, just sending 2-3 guys at every ball screen, active hands, and then 3 to 4 more guys jumping on the floor every time it hits it.
Here's Sanders now going over to Cahoe. Driving in, Powell. Kind of a sideways release there, and it was off the mark. Maybe it wasn't the most orthodox looking shot there for Powell Brock there, but again, to each player his own. Everyone's got different releases, and for whatever works. I saw a college guy, still do the Rick Barry free throws, the underhands the other day, and it worked out very well for him as Logan Sprout gets one to go from the paint.
Hey, if it goes in, you can shoot it whatever way you want, honestly.
I certainly did not have the most orthodox shooting motion back in my playing days. It was a lot more one-handed than most folks. I didn't really like using my guide hand too much. Didn't feel like it really made much of a difference, at least in my shot.
I'm trying to remember the NBA player now that shot the free throws one-handed when he would do
Oh,
the
man.
free throw line. It used to be my favorite thing to go buy in the 2K shop when I was a kid. Just shoot free throws like
yes!
that guy.
Oh, man, you brought back a memory what a play there in the near corner. Quinney went flying out of bounds, went flying into the water cooler down there. Is East Peoria AD Danae Menzioni is there on cleanup duty. Shout out to her, and big thanks to her for letting us come in here tonight. She's already on top of it, and glad Quinney is okay there on a crazy play. Here's Orlando Edwards as Limestone ratchets up the pressure, and we'll get a backcourt foul That is, I think, going to send Peoria High to the line here. Yep, that's number 5 on Limestone here in this third quarter. That's on Sprout. That's number 4 on him. So he's in some trouble. He's probably going to have to sit until the fourth quarter, I would imagine.
Yeah, I imagine that's what head coach Willie Coleman's talking to him about right now, letting him know you got 4. Big loss here for Limestone as they're trying to crawl back into this game. They lose their 6'2" senior for what we would imagine is at least the rest of the third quarter.
So Edwards makes the first. And his freshman class is just so highly touted. You know, I mean, there's really not there are some outlets that definitely give out, you know, freshman ranking to a top freshman in the state. And, you know, major props to them for, you know, doing their scouting or whatever. Obviously, they'll be scouted or ranked by more, you know, outlets as they progress in their high school career. But a lot of them are, you know, being regarded as some of the best, you know, freshmen outside of Chicago, maybe even including Chicago as well. So bright future for this Lions team as they can't connect there. Our gun was looking for Stowers and just bounced right through his arms.
Yeah, I mean, if a couple of these freshmen, if the media didn't know them before, they're making sure they do now. Have had some good performances here for the young guys for the Peoria High Lions.
Limestone, again, trying to come back from this deficit. It was a 15-15 ball game after the first quarter. As Powell driving in, a lot of Lions just in his grill, and we're going to get a travel there on Sanders. Shuffled his feet there with Edwards defending.
It looks like Peoria High took a lot of pride in even letting Limestone get to 15 in that first quarter, because, I mean, they have just gotten to another level with their defensive intensity here in the second quarter and through a majority of this third quarter, as Moore just right to the rim again. Impressive finish from the freshman.
And Moore is now got 13 for Peoria High. As Stowers driving in, lobs it up, and Duffin lays it in. Else would have came down if he would have slammed it, but I don't think Duffin quite had the angle. Maybe in a couple years after he grows a few more inches, maybe then he slams it down.
Boy, that would have been a highlight reel play there. Still a very nice pass from Stowers. All the defensive attention staring at him there on the fast break. Just so unselfish, flips up to his wide open teammate, and boy, it really did look like Duffin wanted to give that one a jam.
And we'll take a timeout here, and while we got a quick timeout, we want to thank, again, some of our sponsors tonight, like Holy Family School. They learn, serve, and grow. Their faith-based environment enables students to reflect the light of Christ through humility, love, and sacrifice. Plenty of activities and options over there. Art, dance, choir, music, band, foreign language in K-8, one-on-one technology in K-8, speech and scholastic bowl, and then you can also have your kids play volleyball, soccer, basketball, and track and field. Visit PeoriaHolyFamily.com to learn more. 23-point advantage here for Peoria. We've seen crazier things. This is the playoffs after all. But you know, Limestone is definitely going to need to get this down before the fourth quarter. Otherwise, Peoria High could maybe be opening an up running clock if they continue on this trend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a big pivotal 2.5 minutes here for Limestone. I've just got to find a way to get some offense and see a couple go through the basket, just get some confidence back. And they have been on the receiving end of a couple big body blows here from Peoria High. Just not able to get a single open look so far for Limestone. As Quinney gets a good one there, can't get that one to go. Cahoe with the board, wild shot, can't get that one to go either. I mean, Limestone has been doing really good on the glass. They're just not able to convert any of those into second chance points.
And it's a good looking three there. Good look from Alec Williams, just fell off the mark. And I think part of this too, you know, for Limestone, Brock, is, you know, they had to expound so much energy early on in that first quarter as they came back from that deficit, and it's just hard, to do against a team like Peoria High. I saw Manual last week was down to Washington at the half, 24-20. And they just blew the Panthers out of the water in the second half just because they could just still get out and run. So these Lions are certainly conditioned well, and it helps that they got a deep bench and those freshmen to rely on for some minutes too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of these teams on the upper echelon just have that second gear that everybody talks about. They can kind of just, lull into a game, play with their food a little bit, but boy, when it comes time to turn it on and you need some stops and some buckets, they can hit that other level, and that's just what makes some of these teams like Peoria High just so special.
Cahill left wide open, down low. He went up for the slam. And I think that was Cameron Gunn coming in there to say, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, hesitated for
little Lee Corso there for college football fans.
Just a second of hesitation there by Cahill. And Peoria High just fly into the ball. Don't make that an easy and one there at all.
Cahill will get two as some fans still just filing in here, getting their seats here for the East Peoria Richwoods game. Will be coming up at approximately 7:30. Again, that one will be streamed not here on CIProud.com. You can watch it on our website, ClutchSportsIL.com, or our YouTube channel. Again, 7:30 start time is approximate. Kind of depends on when this game ends and how long the warm-up period is. At 7:30 is just always an approximation. Also, too, on CI Pride at 7:30, you'll be able to watch Metamora and Dunlap. You keep it right. It's tuned right here. You can almost, may not quite have the quad box, with 4 games, but watch 2 at the same time. Russell gets 2 right there on that nifty-looking layup.
It was a nice move by Russell. Turned the corner, got downhill like a blur right to the rim, and some really good guard play so far tonight by Peoria High, as there they are again, just active hands, picking pockets.
Moore dumps it off. Layup up and good. Kalen Hardy, his first time we've called his name, and guess what? He is another freshman for Peoria High, and the tallest out of them at 6'4".
Boy, and these guys getting varsity minutes just, not even as freshmen, but as freshmen together. I mean, that's just going to pay off so huge when they become sophomores, juniors, and they've already played, the additional 30 games together that you don't normally expect freshmen to play at the varsity level.
No kidding. You're playing JV season, but it's been a varsity season, and another backcourt turnover. It's Duffin spinning. Patient look and one. Hung in the air as Chapman came across his body. And Peoria High is just running away with this one now. What a shot from Duffin, the freshman.
Boy, these freshmen are putting on an absolute show, John. Spin cycle there from Duffin. Kind of thought he traveled there for a second, but he gets the and one to go. Kind of stares and it hangs up on the rim and falls down for him. Nice athletic move there, though, from Jacob Duffin.
And to complete the and one, too strong, but guess what? Kalen Hardy gets the offensive board. 2 more, why not?
And just too easy there for Peoria High. Hardy playing grown man basketball is a 6'4" freshman. I was telling John, I was like, boy, what I would do to be 6'4" as a freshman.
No kidding. Brock, when I was in, I think, 7th grade, I was 5'9". Almost an alley-oop to Hardy, but couldn't quite get it there. It's just style points at this point as the third quarter will come to an end, and it's all Peoria High. The game has flipped on its head in the last 16 minutes, and Peoria High just 8 minutes stand between them and a regional title berth. Stay tuned for the fourth quarter here on CIProud.com. Right back after these messages.
Dentures themselves do not have to cause pain, but many times that's not the case. Dentures also should look natural and look nice. So the things that we do is try to make you look nice and make sure you're not uncomfortable.
Dentures par excellence, restoring lost smiles.
In 1957, Cyril and Lewis Keller invented the skid steer in Rothsay, Minnesota to make farming and agriculture work much easier. Since then, Bobcat has become an integrated and trustworthy household brand. Being the first to bring the mini excavator to North America, Bobcat revolutionized the industry with compact tractors, utility tractors, mowers, and other equipment. Quick and agile, Bobcat is one tough animal. Locally owned and operated since 2001 in Bloomington and Peoria, Illinois.
Meadows Avenue Tap, slots powered by Gold Rush Gaming, the gold standard in video gaming. Now serving breakfast Saturday and Sunday at 7. Meadows Avenue Tap, great breakfast, discreet gaming. Our customers have won over 60 million lifetime. Meadows Avenue Tap, East Peoria.
Welcome Welcome back inside East Peoria Community High School. Jonathan Michael, Brock Stotler getting set to finish this one off. It's going to be a running clock for the remainder of this one as Peoria High has built a 33-point advantage. And, Brock, I bet East Peoria and Richwood's watching this, and they're probably maybe a little bit worried that, this Peoria High team is playing some of its best ball right now. They were at times inconsistent this season. They lost in this gym to East Peoria back on January 2nd, but they've been playing some pretty good ball as of late, putting a nice little win streak here headed into the playoffs, and one they look poised to continue.
Yeah, it's been a fabulous February for these Lions. 9-game win streak coming into this game, so they simply do not know how to lose right now in February. Maybe when the month turns to March, looking for a little bit of March magic, carry them to the State Farm Center in Champaign, but certainly want to be playing your best basketball when the calendar flips, and they have been doing that. Absolutely.
100%. And I think part of, going back to that little there's a little downstretch for Peoria. They lost a couple of games in a short amount of time back around right after 2025 started. They won the State Farm Holiday Classic. That was one of the highest points, at least of the regular season for them. But then they, I believe, lost 3 out of their next 4. But, including the State Farm Holiday Classic, they were playing roughly about 7 games in about 10 or so days as Edwards knocks down a pretty looking 3 there. So, again, I think you can maybe chalk up, a few of those losses to tired legs, and some of those they were still very competitive in.
Yeah, I was about to say, even in those 3
oh
losses
boy,
that
watch
you were
out.
just
Edwards
referencing,
goes with the lay.
It was a 5-pointer in double OT to East Peoria. That surely didn't help the legs at all. A 4-pointer to Manual, and then an 8-point loss to Normal Community, who's one of the best teams in 4A. So, just a pretty tough schedule there. There was no off days after winning that State Farm Holiday Classic.
Edwards is on fire. He's got 15. That's a team high. Outpacing his fellow freshman more now. He's really played well in this second half.
Edwards saw more put on a show in the first half. He wanted to up the ante here in the second half. Big start to the fourth quarter for Orlando Edwards. And these freshmen for Peoria High, we're going to say it, I'm sure, a couple more times throughout these playoffs, but they are legit basketball players. Take some of the scoring load and the playmaking and defensive load off of LaShawn Stowers' shoulders.
No kidding. Stowers just 9 points tonight, but he hasn't needed to score more than 9. It's not that he's had a bad game. He gets to sit and watch his heirs to the throne take this one home while he rests up for Friday's regional title game, which again we'll have for you here on CIProud.com. And the ball game now for Limestone is Griffin White. Nice looking shot there. That's his first points for the sophomore.
White, one of those sophomores me and John were referencing early. He'll be back next year playing some basketball for the Rockets. So nice little confidence boost there for him to see one go through the net here.
More active hands for the Lions. They'll kick it out. White thought about another one. Went for the baseline floater, but it's a foul. It's going to go on Kalen Hardy. He didn't think so, but I think the lead is, big enough right now for Peoria High. I think some would say.
Yeah. You don't see running clocks that often in basketball, especially in the playoff games here. So, Peoria High certainly took care of their business up to this point.
And again, nothing against Limestone for sure. Again, it has been a really good season for them. They were, very competitive. They were 4th in the Mid-Illini. They were top half of the conference this season, and a tightly contested group that also featured Washington, Dunlap, as well. The conference was very strong this year, and the fact that they, are 15-15 coming in tonight, they'll finish one game under 500 this year. But again, they beat Washington in the regional quarterfinals, so. Again, definitely progress for Willie Coleman and company, and one you like to see. You like to see teams like that, take that next step and just be competitive overall. You're not going to win titles overnight, but you can be competitive and just take that next step. There's a jumper on the way and up and good.
And John, you mentioned Peoria
High. That was Brian Nicholson
taking some lumps at the beginning of January. Well, Limestone took some lumps at the beginning of February, 4 straight losses before entering tonight on a 4-game win streak. So they've even kind of started, you could argue, they've been playing some of their best basketball as these regionals have started.
Most definitely. And Again, this Limestone or this Peoria High team just a little bit too much for the Rockets here tonight. They're too much for a lot of different teams. We've seen them be dominant all season long. As we adjust our score, 69-30. Lions leading. Clock continues to run here. And, you know, Brock, again, just, I haven't really talked much about it so far, but East Peoria and Richwoods, I think that's going to be a great game as Hardy lays it up and in. Those are two teams that really could surprise a lot of people in the playoffs, I think. Both teams have hung with the best in the area, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned it a little bit earlier, it's just been impressive that Richwoods is able to, you know, rebound so well from the loss of a great player like Lathan Somerville.
Yeah.
Right back in here, another 17-win season. Pretty good 3-year stretch that the Richwoods Knights are putting together.
Most definitely, and they we saw them I think a week or two ago against Normal Community, Big 12 champions. Nice look there from White again for Limestone. That game went to 4 overtimes. That was a 25-6 Normal Community team that obviously won the Big 12, and Richwoods gave them all they could handle and almost gave them their first conference loss. So I talk about a team that really reloaded well. Normal Community, strong season for them after losing their entire starting 5. Floater is just off. There for Nate Salamba. Junior in there for Limestone. 3-ball, rims out. Oh, that was a tough one. But the putback is up and good for number 52, who we unfortunately do not have on our roster. So the Nameless Wonder.
The Nameless Wonder gets in the stat sheet. Nice offensive rebound.
And make that 2 Nameless Wonders. Number 24. Don't see one of those on our roster either. So, again, you probably don't expect these, you know, probably junior varsity guys going to get much playing time and probably not put on the official roster, but they still suit up, and good for them that they get to come in the game and score some points to close out the season. I'll be seeing them more often next year.
They won't be Nameless Wonders on next year's score sheet, though, that's for sure, John.
And I think that's a great point there as Hardy tries to save it. Ball goes out. It will go back to Limestone as they walk it up for perhaps the final time here this season.
Yeah, nice offensive rebound there for Nate Salumba.
Another Rocket gets into the scoreboard, or scorebook, I should say. So 71-41, Peoria High is going to move on and play for a regional title. Not before another 3-ball. Up and good. That was Nicholson. Guess what, Brockies? Another freshman. Every freshman has scored except for Elijah Johnson tonight. Maybe I don't think he'll get into the game here with 1 second to go, and that will do it. Peoria High, a resounding victory over Limestone, 74-41. Not much else to say in this one, Brock. It was pure dominance for the final 3 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, Peoria High hit that second gear after Limestone closed out the first quarter on a pretty strong note. Peoria High just, you know, put their foot down on the accelerator. Not too many teams can hit that gear. And, you know, it was a mixture of LaShawn Stowers, but a lot of those freshmen just really coming in, stepping up, making big-time plays, some big-time shots, some more suffocating defense the Peoria High way. And, I mean, they pulled away with this one here pretty quick. That second quarter, though, I think, John, was pretty huge. I mean, you go in tied 15-15, you outscore them 14-4 just like that, and it really never felt like the game was ever really close again.
Most definitely. We'll step aside briefly for a quick word for our sponsors to come back and wrap this one up here from East Peoria. Again, stay tuned, though, on ClutchSportsIL.com. We'll have East Peoria and Richwoods after this one obviously wraps up. And then also on CIProud.com, Dunlap and Metamora ready to get going in a little bit, too, as well over in Dunlap. So we'll step aside briefly and come right back and wrap it up here from East Peoria.
Winter weather in central Illinois can change in an instant. That's why you need a forecast you can trust.
WMBD is your local weather authority and your secret weapon to stay ahead of the storm.
So whether it's a foot of snow in Bloomington,
icy roads in Peoria, or gusty winds in Washington,
you'll be the first to know, no matter where you are. On the air, online, and on the go with the CI Proud to Go app.
WMBD, Central Illinois proud.
Welcome back inside East Peoria. Jonathan Michael, Brock Sattler wrapping things up here from a big win for the number 1 seed Peoria High Lions. They advanced at 26-6 on the season. Limestone, their campaign comes to a close at 15-16. Hats off to them and all their seniors, again, playing their final high school game tonight. Logan Sprout, Kamar Sanders, Bryce Chapman, Alec Williams for the Rockets. And really, again, I think the scoreboard doesn't show it, but I think Limestone, they, played hard tonight, especially their seniors. Alec Williams, their leading scorer, with 7 points. Cahill added 7 as well. And some good minutes, too, and some buckets from Sprout.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Limestone, like I said, for a majority game, I'd like to see the official stats on the offensive rebounds that Peoria High and Limestone, because it felt like they kind of dominated them on the glass a little bit, especially on the offensive side. We're just unable to take the lid off the basket and get any of those to go. I mean, you make a couple more of those shots in that second quarter, third quarter. Not saying it changes a bunch on the scoreboard, but it just gives you a little bit more confidence. You start seeing some shots go in.
And for Peoria High, they were led by Orlando Edwards, a freshman, 15 points. Another freshman, Nigel Moore, with 13. LaShawn Stowers with 9. Again, unofficial tallies, but that's what we got up here in the booth. 10 different scores, though, for the Lions, and great defense to go with it as well. Really a complete effort.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, when you can go to a second unit like that and there's no fall off on the offensive end, and these guys play just as hard as the starters do on defense, too. So, I mean, you've got 2 units you can feel confident with your Peoria High. I mean, I think depth was just, we talked about that in that little break right there. That's just so huge when you can put these guys in and there's no fall off from the starters. They're taking shots with confidence. I mean, just a very impressive all-around performance tonight from Peoria High.
Very well said, Brock. Again, 74-41, your final. And coming up on ClutchSportsIL.com, the second semifinal here in East Peoria and Richwoods, also on our YouTube channel as well. And if you stay on CIProud.com, you can also watch Dunlap and Metamora tipping off in about 20 minutes or so, up about half hour away from here. Well, that'll do it for this game. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Brock Sattler alongside me, Jonathan Michael, Mark Wagner, and Ben Tapp here, our Clutch Sports Media crew. 74-41 your final. We'll see you in a few.